Our top focus in WION right now, Israel's army chief Hadassah has claimed what he says a military victory over Hezbollah, asking the government to restart the local economy after Israel entered into a truce with the Iran-backed group on November 27th. Well, this comes after 2 months after Israel stepped up its bombing backed by ground assault on Lebanon, following nearly a year of exchanges of cross-border fire initiated by Hezbollah over the war in Gaza. In a video statement released by the military, Halevi said that in order to achieve a long-term victory, the people of Lebanon need to visit restaurants and to get out and involve themselves in agriculture, which required active role of the Lebanese government.
Militarily, we have won. That's very clear. But to achieve a true, long-term victory, we need to see many citizens living here and many tourists visiting. Restaurants, cafes, the people coming here to cycle, and the agriculture flourishing. That's victory. A lasting victory. The state needs to step in and put its full weight behind it.
Referring to Gaza, the Israeli military said that approximately 5 missiles were fired from northern Gaza into Israel, 2 of which were intercepted by the IDF amid an ongoing Israeli offensive in the north of the Palestinian territory. The Palestinian Civil Defense reported that the IDF also carried out an airstrike on Al-Wafa hospital in Gaza, situated in the city's Shijua district, that killed 7 and injured several others. The readout released by the IDF mentioned a precise strike targeting members of Hamas's aerial defense unit operating from a command and control center in a building that served in the past as the Al-Wafa hospital. Well, parallel to this, Gaza health officials reported that a 20-day-old baby died on Sunday from severe cold as the war-ravaged Palestinian territory braces for harsh winters. The baby, identified as Juma al-Batran, died from the cold, while his twin brother remains alive in the intensive care unit.
My wife checked his feet and found them like ice cubes. Then I checked the other child and found him cold. I ran to the hospital with the child, but as soon as I arrived, they told me that the child had died.
Meanwhile, Israel is set to submit a government report to the United Nations asserting that the hostages freed last year from Gaza endured physical and sexual abuse during their captivity, which also includes children. The report prepared by the Israeli Health Ministry is apparently based on the testimonies taken from the released captives. And it has detailed instances of victims being burnt, beaten and starved by the Hamas. The findings will be put forth this week to the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture. That's what the ministry has said in a statement. On the other hand, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu successfully underwent a prostate surgery after he was diagnosed with a urinary tract infection resulting from a benign prostate enlargement. The Israeli leader arrived at Jerusalem's Hadassah Medical Center after 6 p.m. local time and went through the procedure in the evening. He will remain under observation in the fortified hospital room for several days, while the Justice Minister, Yariv Levin, who is a close ally, would serve as the acting Prime Minister during this period. Local media has reported that Netanyahu's lawyer also requested the court to cancel the hearing in which he was scheduled to take the stand, as the Prime Minister will remain in the hospital for a few days. And well, for more on this, we are now being joined live by our correspondent, Jody Cohen. She's joining us live from Renana. Hi, Jody. First up, by when will the Health Ministry report be submitted to the UN, and what is expected post the submission?
Hi, Raisha. So this report is expected to be submitted this week. Israel's health minister has said that the report is a wake-up call to the world to put more pressure on Hamas and its supporters to release all the hostages now. Now, the report was compiled by doctors and psychologists, and it details the abuse of hostages, including physical and psychological torture, isolation, deliberate starvation, brandings with heated iron, and sexual abuse, including of children. The report was compiled from doctor examinations and testimonies from the hostages released in the hostage release deal in November 2023 and from the hostages rescued by the IDF. And it also details the physical and psychological difficulties faced by the hostages after they got home. And it comes as negotiations are continuing for another deal, although progress is slower than hoped for, with Hamas saying that Israel is discussing new conditions, which Israel denies. And Israel is saying that Hamas is still refusing to provide a list of living hostages.
Right, Jody, let's also talk about the on-ground situation in Gaza and how are the humanitarian efforts being impacted by the ongoing blockade?
So Israel would actually say that there is no blockade, that Israel has facilitated the entry of more than 1.2 million tons of aid into Gaza since the war began with Hamas's attack on Israel. Now, in recent months, the aid has included warm clothing and blankets to prepare for the winter. And the aid, Israel says, it's been sitting on the Gazan side of the border for months, despite pauses in the fighting to allow for distribution. Israel says that hundreds of aid trucks have not been picked up by aid agencies, that Hamas is stealing much of the aid. And Israel would say that tragic stories like deaths of babies in the cold are completely unnecessary. There have also been recent allegations of famine in North Gaza. The US has refuted these, saying that the claims are based on inaccurate and outdated information, and the agency that published the accusations has now withdrawn their reports.
Rajuri, thank you for joining us on the show with your insights on this.